The long wait is over, the summer is gone, the best leagues in the land are back.
It's time to raise the game.
Welcome and croeso. We are back on Rugby One for the first live stream of the season here on Cardiff Met Sport TV. Now, it's not just a welcome back to BUCS Super Rugby, but a welcome back to a couple of vaguely familiar faces here on King Coed campus. And before we get into the rugby, I am joined by World Rugby commentator and former Cardiff Met student, Rob Burke. Welcome, Rob. How does it feel to be back?
Nice introduction, that I can't lie. I enjoyed that one. It's nice to be back, and a lot has changed, to be fair. This big gantry behind the camera wasn't there. Facilities are getting better and better all the time, and yeah, I'm excited for tonight.
So back in front of the camera, back in front of rugby, how does that feel?
It's good, it's exciting, and I always think when I was doing my notes of the game, you always think how your year's special, your year's unique, the team aren't ever going to be the same, and you come back and it might have been 2-3 years, but immediately you just realise every year's special. They all have their unique points, and really it's just a conveyor belt of talent going through this university and through the visitors today, Exeter as well.
Well, it's nice to have some familiar faces, but please don't get used to it. Now, as well as the return to BUCS Rugby, September saw the start of the second year of the WXV.
Yeah.
England were crowned champions last year. Wales didn't do so well, but are there any familiar faces from Cardiff Met that we see in that team or are up and coming in that team?
Yeah, if you're a fan of BUCS and a fan of women's rugby, you'll look at the WXV squads and there's players all the way from top to bottom. I've been doing the WXV 3, there's players involved there, a few Netherlands international. There's one actually playing for Exeter today, Netherlands international again. And you mentioned Wales, there's 3 or 4 even Cardiff Met players involved there as well. And so yeah, there's a lot of familiar faces if you're a fan of women's rugby. Like I say, wherever you go, there's BUCS players, Met players, they are literally archers everywhere.
I was going to say,
it's
not
crazy.
Not just rugby players, but have you seen many other people from Cardiff Met on your travels at all?
Yeah, familiar faces all the time. Like I say, it feels like yesterday we were, the interns learning how to do things, shadow, and now we're working for World Rugby doing this and that, and it's crazy to see the transition. There's a bunch of students here today starting it, and as much as I love what I do now, I'd give a fair bit to go back and do it again, because it's such a good opportunity to learn and make mistakes, but it only makes you better, and then taking it into the working world, it's fun. So
you've mentioned a couple of players to watch on the international scene, but what about here today? Who were you keeping your eye on?
It's interesting learning new players. Like commentary today, obviously, for a long time I would rock up and know every name on the team sheet. Like Will Rigg, know what he does, know how he scores, Brad Rodgers from the T, whatever it is. Kate Lewis, she was involved, we know exactly what she's around. Today, it was interesting to see the new names on the team sheet, how many under-20s Wales internationals are in the Cardiff Met team. I mentioned a few playing WXV rugby for Exeter. It could go either way, and there's a couple of backs that I'm really keen to see, a lot of pace that we saw in the clash last week, and if they can play similar rugby this week, I think Met are on for a winner.
And what is your score prediction for today?
It's a real tough one to call that. It's because Exeter are superb, and looking back to last season, it was a double for the Met. They lost to Edinburgh, Exeter beat Edinburgh. It is BUCS Super Rugby all over. Good luck predicting anything. I'm going to go with a Met win. It's going to be tight, that's all I can say.
It's got to be done. Well, as Rob just said, Cardiff Met didn't quite have the start they wanted, having lost to Edinburgh in their opening game, but last week was hell of a hit.
We're ready to start here now with Elias with the ball in her hand, and referee blows his whistle, and away we go here at Cardiff Arms Park. Now, an unfortunate start there, but they've played on. No accidental offside there.
Need to get through the phases here, underneath the posts.
Caroline Cookie, good carry there. Is it a turnover? No. Met have managed to secure the ball well. Met are going through the phases patiently here in order to score the first points of the game.
He's let the forwards do the work, and they've gone over, have they?
And that's
there
a try for Cardiff Met. What a great start that is. Only 2 minutes in, and Met get the first try of the game. What a start, Rodri.
Brilliant from the forwards there, working their way through the phases. Got look for the post and drive over the try line. Brilliant. And potentially a try.
Bevans feeds the ball in here now. Out to Bell. It's a little switch, lovely switch.
Good tackle.
That's a great defensive tackle there.
They've got numbers,
Pick up
better
and go
wide.
by Catcher Stewart, and that's the Met's second try of the afternoon. Cardiff Met 12, Cardiff University 0. Rodri, what was your thought on that try?
The forwards have been brilliant so far. That's all forwards there, working through the phases, powering over, offloading, and there we go, just like the first try.
Well, that's a great clearance click. But Williams, that's a great catch there by Williams. And here they come. She looks to take it outright. Here she goes on her own. Is she going to give it? That's a great catch there. Another good tackle. Amy Williams here in the corner. And it's a try.
Brilliant try.
Fantastic counter-attack there from the kick.
That was all Williams.
All Williams, yeah. And fair play to Nia Grundy. She managed to beat her girl, keep onto the ball and offload it without any errors. And that's a great finish by Williams. Met pushing them back deeper than their 22, and it's kicked away. Nice little bounce there. Great take by
good hand off.
Grundy. Grundy's in the corner, and it's the bonus point try for Cardiff Met. What a fantastic start. In the first minute, that's exactly what you wanted. If you're a Met player, the complete opposite for Cardiff University.
Certainly. Brilliant done by the winger there. Straight in the corner.
Bevans, the back there, back to Bell.
Good scoreless from.
Here we go, they got an overlap here if they get it out to Grundy. Grundy's beat one, back on the inside. Here we go, they're in for their fifth try here. Can she get there? Great try there by Burke. Fifth of the afternoon for Met. And it's one-way traffic. The crowd are happy, the players are happy.
That's a brilliant try. Fantastic work there by Grundy. Finds the offload, passes inside, and is clean through and speeding home.
Getting everyone back. To Cook. It's a loose pass there, looking for Baines.
Great
Cook once
handoff.
again. Is she in here? It's a great carry. Is that a high tackle? No. And here we go, Amy Williams. In for the sixth try of the afternoon. Great support work there here by Amy Williams. Cardiff Met 38, Cardiff University 30-0.
That was all Cook there. Great run, handoff, looking for support, finds it. Amy Williams in the corner.
It's a shame Cook couldn't get there herself. And she's done so well this afternoon.
Yes, she has. She deserves a try.
Cardiff Met going through the phases here now. Here we go. We got Picton Powell through here. Is she in the corner? What a try. Fair play to her. That's a great carry. And she deserved that as well. She's another fantastic game.
Plenty of gas there. No chance anyone stopping her.
Here we go. Come Uni clear here. Oh, looks like they're still in their own 22. Here we go. If they can spread the ball out here to Mugabe. And that's number 8 of the afternoon, the substitute. Danai Mugabe with her first try afternoon.
That looks so simple, doesn't it?
And that takes them past the 50 points. Nice old carry there Met are over the ball. Will they turn over it? No. Cardiff Uni still managed to held on to the ball. Passing it out here to the winger, then she'll be pushed out of the touch. That's once again great tackling. 2v1. There's a penalty though to Cardiff University. Looks like the ref will be having some sort of word here with the Met captain.
It's looking like just a talking to at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sure the next incident could be a yellow card there, and imagine it was for the...
Oh!
No, it is a yellow card. I was wrong.
Does that change things?
Well, I'd say it's slightly too late now.
It's been one-way traffic for Cardiff Met, hasn't it? They've been brilliant.
They'll be very pleased with how they've performed. Making it 3 in a row now against Cardiff Uni, sorry.
Claiming some real bragging rights here, haven't they?
Here we go. That's a great... Oh, and is she in again? Oh, and it's the second time of the afternoon for Nia Gundy. She's been outstanding. Got that pace and scoring nearly under the posts to make it 57-0 for Cardiff Met.
What a try that was. Once again, you see the speed, determination, straight through.
Great tackle there again. It's the double tackle all afternoon. It's another turnover. And that's it. It's full time here at Cardiff Arms Park. It's 57 to Cardiff Met, 0 to Cardiff University. It's been a fantastic performance here for Cardiff Met.
And what a stunning performance. A 57-0 victory for the Archers. And to tell us more about it is women's rugby expert Rhys Davids. Welcome, Rhys. What do you think of last week?
Brilliant performance by the Archers. To get one over their biggest rivals was obviously a massive kickstart for them in their season. To do it at the Arms Park, you know, with a fabulous backing as well. They'll take real confidence from that, and that'll be really good for them going forward, I think.
How important is that kind of atmosphere to achieve those wins?
I think it's massive. I think sort of any backing you can get on your side is huge and should be a huge advantage. And obviously, you know, Cardiff Met, we travel in our numbers, so yeah, it was great to see so many Archers there, and great that the girls could put on such a good performance considering the occasion as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think it means to play at that Cardiff Arms Park and have such a big win?
I think it's massive. Obviously, you know, the women's game is growing, and for them to have those occasions and be able to sort of share the same platform as the men is huge for them. And yeah, I think they'll obviously take real confidence from that going into today.
And just quickly touching back to last week, which players stood out for you?
I think it's very easy to talk about the two wingers, Amy Williams and Nia Grundy. They're electric, both of them. Both of them are quite experienced members of this squad now and have been with Cardiff Met for quite a while, so they know how it works. Amy Williams is one of a number of players who was involved at Wales under-20s levels over the summer, so she brings real experience. But they're both absolutely electric. They bring great pace. They're real dangers, and for both of them to score 2 tries each last week, I think really shows sort of the level that they're operating at the moment.
And just bringing it back to you, you have become a commentator for some under-20s rugby. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, so over the summer I commentated on the Transatlantic Quad Series under-20s tournament, which was actually hosted by Wales. So it was Wales, the USA, Canada and England, and it was a 4-team tournament, as obviously quad would suggest. And Wales played against Canada and the USA, so teams that they wouldn't necessarily play all the time. And a number of Cardiff Met players were involved, the likes of Lucy Isaac and Catherine Stewart, who are the back row today for Cardiff Met, both played in that game. And a number of the backs as well, the half-back combination, were both starters actually against the USA. So a number of them were involved, and a number of them are Cardiff Met players, and that's something the Cardiff Met can be really proud of as well, that so many of their players are going on to play international level. Obviously we've seen Maisie Davis and Molly Reardon go on to the senior side as well. So I think there's real positive shoots from a Cardiff Met level, but also from a Wales women's level in terms of the development of rugby here in Wales.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it, to have that development and to be able to join all of these tournaments as such a small nation. Those players that you just mentioned, are any of them playing tonight?
Yeah, so Lucy Isaac, Catherine Stewart, Amy Williams, Freya Bell, there's absolutely loads, Katie Bevans, the list goes on and on. I think there was 14 Cardiff Met players involved with the Wales under-20s over the summer. So a number of them involved, and I'm sure those experiences will have really benefited Cardiff Met when they've come back into pre-season. Obviously, they've been at the elite level. They've seen how elite level, or what you need to do to get to the elite level. So I think that experience will really help them and will really help Cardiff Met.
And how do you think they will perform tonight? What is your score prediction?
Oh, score prediction's a tough one. These games are notoriously close. Exeter Cardiff Met games, there's never normally more than a score in it. I'm going to back the Archers. Cardiff Met 23, Exeter 20. I think it's going to be tight. I think we can really see this one go down to the wire.
It's got to be done, Archers all the way. Now let's turn our attention to the game at hand, the game that no one seems to be able to predict. Rob Burke, take it away.
Very warm welcome back then to BUCS Super Rugby action, live from King Coyd campus. This afternoon's clash features Cardiff Met taking on Exeter here at Rugby 1. Kick-off coming up very shortly. Both teams have something to prove here today as Exeter look to build up on last season's success, while Cardiff Met aim to carry forward the momentum of their massive victory over Cardiff Uni in the clash last week. The stakes couldn't be higher, with the league table as tight as ever. Every point is crucial, and a win today could make all the difference. We'll have team news coming up very shortly as well. Players had an extensive warm-up period, we'll call it that. Let's take a look at the teams then. For Cardiff Met, they've got another strong lineup featuring several standout players, many of whom represented Wales and the USA at under-20 level. In the front row, USA under-20 international Kissinger and Cookie are back in action alongside Emily Joyce. In the back row, Lucy Isaac and Catherine Stewart, both Wales under-20 internationals, add some dynamic power to the lineup. The halfbacks feature the familiar duo of Bevans and Bell, the two paired up over the summer in the Transatlantic Quad Series against the USA. And finally then on the wings, they're covered by Amy Williams and Nia Grundy, who each scored 2 tries last week. As for Exeter, they field a balanced mix of new talent and experienced players, with several athletes boasting PWR and international experience. In the front row, first-year student Middlebrook is joined by 2 third-year players, Davies and Skeets, bringing a blend of youth and experience to the pack. In the back row, Richardson takes on the role of vice-captain and will look to lead from the flanker position. As scrum half, Fionn Marshall, one of the only Welsh players in the Exeter team, she'll bring an exciting and dynamic feel to that back line. At full back, Dutch international Tau adds that international experience, enhancing Exeter's attacking options from the back. Joining me then for commentary, back in action for BUCS Super Rugby, Reese, welcome to the commentary box.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, really excited for this one. Obviously, women's BUCS Super Rugby is here. It's here to stay, and yeah, what a great first occasion to play host to it. Cardiff Met at home at Rugby 1 against an Exeter side who came second in the league last year, bring a lot of experience at this level. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a really tight game.
2 awesome sides on show then, and it was always a big experience when the women came down to Rugby 1 to play their games, and I'm glad to see that's become a more regular occurrence now as the team have progressed over the years. But a big game at hand. I was forced to give a prediction in the build-up, Reese. I'm going to ask you to do the same now. How do you think this one's going to go?
Well, I said down pitch side that I think this game is going to finish Cardiff Met 23, Exeter 20. So I'm going to stick with my original prediction from down at pitch side. I think Cardiff Met will take this one, but I think it's going to be really, really tight.
It absolutely is, and it's been a long time, I have to say, since I've had to do some serious research when doing BUCS Super Rugby commentary, because it used to be a regular occurrence. And I checked the team sheet this time around and got a fright when I found that didn't recognise a single name. But watching what these girls have done so far this season, the highlights from last season, we are in for a spectacular game because both sides will be absolutely ready for this one. We are underway then at Rugby 1. Cardiff Met taking on Exeter Uni. And right now those kits are looking fresh. That certainly won't be the case by the end of this game. Both sets of forwards happy to get involved, I think it's fair to say, Reece.
Yeah, definitely.
Doing well in the end there, Morgan Burke under the high ball to come away with a difficult one to control. Cardiff Met retain possession and march on forward towards the Exeter half. Morgan Burke, a new addition, a surprise addition to this Cardiff Met side, and I think it's fair to say a welcome addition as well. Hugely impressive in the opening few weeks of the season. And there she is again with a quick offload. She's done well to keep possession on 2 occasions now, Reece.
Yeah, definitely. The Cardiff Met moved the ball to the width quite quickly there, and they've made a massive territory gain in the end, getting the line out well inside the Exeter half.
Absolutely. Set piece, a massive part of BUCS Super Rugby and women's rugby in general. I think we mentioned in the build-up I've been a part of the commentary for the WXV in the last few weeks, and set piece has been crucial. And the teams that do execute them the best tend to be the ones to come out on top.
I think we've got a bit of blood for Gabby Heelan here.
Well, she won't want to come off not this early. Gabby Heelan started last week. She's kept her place in the team. I'm sure once she's got the blood sorted out, she'll be back into the action.
I think I can see Sarah Singleton getting... Oh, no. They've swapped that change. We'll just see who comes on.
A temporary change, I'm sure.
Looks like Lily Brand.
Lily Brand on then. She wasn't actually in the squad last week. On the field now. Early change then for Met, even though it may be a temporary one. First line out for Met then, and this is the rolling maul I was talking about. Teams that execute this kind of manoeuvre well tend to come out on top, heaving their way to the 22 for their first visit of the game. Collapsing just short. And Met will come again. Early pressure from the maroon jerseys. That's a great run from South Powell. Good hands away from Erin Jones. There isn't an inch of space out there. The Exeter defence tightly packed in. It's going to take something special while everybody's fresh to break through. Caroline Cook with the latest carry. Lucy Isaac swarmed by green and white jerseys.
Exeter is so well organised in this defensive line so far.
Patient play for Met though, as they go to boot, dived upon by the substitute. Tough one for Lily Brand to deal with, actually. Coming back on herself, but they've got away with it again. Sustained possession then for Met, Reece.
Yeah, nice period of possession, just get everyone in the game. Maybe attempt a few things.
Beautiful footwork from Morgan Burke as she slips through the line, just yanked back into it, threatening to break. And the ball goes dead.
Got to give huge credit to the Exeter defence there, though. They've, really come out looking strong, fired up from the off, and they didn't give them any easy yards there, any easy go forward. So massive credit to them. And in the end, they forced a turnover and forced a scrum.
They have indeed. So an opportunity then to take a look at Exeter's set piece. We do have a player down at the moment, so we will have another stoppage in play. Nice to see a decent sized crowd as well. It's an early one on a Wednesday. Everybody's got their own sport going on. Kincoid campus is, well, the hub for sport on a Wednesday, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I couldn't park. It's that busy here today. I spent 20 minutes driving around trying to find a space. So, yeah, Kincoid campus is certainly buzzing.
It's a good way to make yourself late, trying to park in Kincoid campus on a Wednesday afternoon. Falling victim to that myself. Back to the action then. Scrum coming up. This will be a real interesting insight into the power that the two packs have.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the two Americans in the Met front row go here. Obviously, will have played together at under 20s level. And Cookie looked so good in the Cardiff clash last week. Such a dynamic prop in the loose, and I think that's such a facet of all good modern props now, is that they're not only good scrummagers, but they're good in open play as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic having Americans involved here at Cardiff Met. They always bring so much energy and excitement. There were a few back when I was here, and Cookie's certainly one that brings plenty of energy, but she's got plenty of work to do today as Exeter come forward really for the first time. To the halfway they go. Hermione Titcombe bringing her side forward. That looked like a knock on. It was. The referee agrees. Cardiff Met defence forcing the error there.
Yeah, again, much the same way Exeter did a few minutes ago. Cardiff Met didn't give them any easy yardage, didn't give them any go forward ball, and then the error is forced with the loose pass.
Absolutely, and we said in the build-up we were expecting an even game. It's easy to say, but one look at the statistics of the two sides and, well, you'll arrive at the same answer. Joint third at the moment, Cardiff Met having played that additional game. It's interesting to see, though, that Cardiff Met did lose to Edinburgh in their opening game. Exeter managed to beat Edinburgh, but then Cardiff Met did the double last year over Exeter. So it's everybody beating everybody. It's nice to see that BUCS Super Rugby is as it always was.
I'm sure the Leicester Newton will be saying that they're just getting an early one out their system there with that defeat.
And Edinburgh certainly will fancy their chances of lifting the title. Likewise, these two sides. Cardiff Met moving it quicker now. Morgan Burke once again. Every time she gets the ball, you feel as though something could happen for Cardiff Met. Inside it goes again. Catherine Stewart. That's a good kick. Over the top it goes. A little bit of pressure applied to the back line. Eva Sterrett, the captain, in charge of clearing up.
Yeah, that was a really, really intelligent kick by Gabby Heelan there. Just forced Exeter back a bit.
Met back with the ball. Going to the boot once more. That's a beautiful bit of play from the fullback. The Dutch international doing her best to give a bit of breathing room to Exeter, pinned in their own half for the majority of this game. As we approach the 10-minute mark, the score remains Cardiff Met 0, Exeter 0. How long that will last, we're unsure. Another good carry there. Erin Jones, a late call-up into the squad for Erin Jones. A little bit of printer ink needed to reprint the team sheets up here.
Was well fielded by Morgan Burke there. That pass was really awkward, but she's done well. I was going to say initially to hold it, but now they've lost it.
As we said, a few late changes to the Cardiff Met team. A few changes to the Exeter side as well. They've, of course, got a few players. I say a few, quite a lot of players involved with Exeter Chiefs. And that is a big trait of BUCS Super Rugby. A lot of teams are victim of their own success at times. A lot of Welsh girls involved in Cardiff Met, and they're pulled away on international duty with the WXV, and next thing you know, contracts are on the tables, and it is a case of sometimes you can be too good.
Yeah, I'm not sure the coaches will be too happy with it, given the constant chopping and changing they've got to do in their squads. But it's great for the girls to get such a broad range of experiences and bring them back into BUCS Rugby where they can play.
It absolutely is, and it's nice to have both options available to them. Play well for Met, you'll get your opportunity. That's the promise. Likewise, Exeter can say a pretty similar thing. Plenty of their players involved in the PWR. Good turnover there, though. Right in the mixer, and Exeter will come away with it.
Yeah, great work at the breakdown there by Anna Richardson, the vice-captain, really leading by example there. Such a textbook sort of flankers turnover that. Got her body position absolutely spot on. Got herself over the ball and you weren't going to shift her. And wins the ball back for her side. And I think so far it's looking like, as we predicted, Rob, a really, really tight game. And there's not a lot between these two sides.
There isn't. So just talk me through it then. We've had a look at these players. You were, of course, there for the Cardiff clash last week. If you are a Met fan watching this, listening to this, who are you picking out to be the difference today? Who are the star players in that team?
I think you've got to be excited about Nia Grundy. We've seen little tiny glimpses of her so far, but her pace is scary. And if they can get her into some open field, she's got real ability to finish it off. She's got quite a lot of sevens background. She was at the University of Bath, played a lot of sevens for Bath Rugby actually, has played over the summer for Bath Rugby sevens as well. So she's a real dangerous player for Exeter, and they'll be very wary of her. They'll have seen last week as well, and they'll know what to expect from her, and they'll I'm sure be trying to stop it.
Easier said than done, though, of course. We will be back underway very shortly. A little bit stop-start this game, but as I said, plenty of possession for Met. Exeter, though, looking resolute in their defence. 12 minutes in, and if you'd have said before the game it'll be 0-0 for a while, wouldn't have taken a lot of convincing, because we knew it would be tight. Bringing it from the back of the scrum, though, Exeter, and that's a wayward pass forward, in fact. And they surrender possession. They've surrendered possession slightly too easily, you'd say, so far. Yeah,
maybe a bit too cheaply. They probably want to work through maybe a few more phases. They're trying to get sort of some kind of momentum, because despite the fact that a lot of the possession has been theirs, a lot of the game has been played in their own half. So I think they want to get a bit of possession together and maybe look to kick downfield and get Met turning back towards their own try line.
Absolutely. Here come Met then, off the back of another set piece. Hard into the challenge there, Catherine Stewart. Neither team afraid of getting stuck in. That's a lovely grubber through the lines. Bit of pace on it as well. Collected well though by Tao, and into touch they go. There's plenty of speed on the wings, but there's plenty of strength as well. Not afraid to make a tackle. That was very Jazz Joyce-esque, that one.
No, that's the sevens background. There's no hiding place in sevens. You've got to be a good defender to be a good sevens player, and Nia Grundy is clearly very good in defence.
Couldn't have put it better myself. Nowhere to hide in sevens. There's nowhere to hide in BUCS Super Rugby either. Morgan Burke. Well-timed offload from her. Play just slowing down ever so slightly. The gap's closed so quickly. Impressive to see. There will be a Met penalty.
Yeah, just as the rain starts to pour, we're hoping that it doesn't pick up too much and doesn't affect this game, because we want to see a lot of running rugby, and the rain isn't exactly conducive to that.
Don't have dry days here at Rugby 1 too often. We've seen some incredible weather events over the years. I think there's a couple of people holding the camera that can vouch for that one. Tough times when it does pour. I think we will be okay today.
That was a great kick down by Freya Bell. That was really put Met into a good position here for the first time in the game.
Absolutely. Line out for the Met then. They've gone long. That's unfortunate. It really is. Real opportunity there. It's the furthest into the 22 Met have really been since the game's kicked off. For all their possession, haven't really created too many chances.
No, they'll be ruining that one because, you know, you put a kick down to the 5 metre line. See Lisa Newton laughing there, but I don't think she'd be too happy with that. But you put a kick down there, you put the pressure on, and then you give up possession.
Exeter then with some work to do deep inside their own 22. Big tackles needed. And they have stalled, and the ball's actually spilled out there.
Lucy Isaac made an absolute nuisance for herself there, although she was offside and has been penalised. So.
They will have an opportunity to clear their lines. Plenty of height on that kick. Did just hook it though. So the penalty will be awarded to Exeter. You mentioned they're very keen at the breakdown, Cardiff Met.
Yeah, I think that's a feature of both these sides' games. You can see already they're hotly contested, these breakdowns, and that's the levels of elite rugby at the moment, is that every breakdown matters. And if you go in isolated, if you go in slightly ahead of your support lines, there's people of quality who can turn you over.
Indeed. There's a little bit of a nervous moment in the commentary box then. Not the first time we've been hit by a ball up here. Brad Roderick Evans took out the camera just to my left once upon a time. That was an interesting one.
He probably meant it.
No, mate, he could hit anything. Didn't like some of my commentary notes, I imagine. Looking to take my head off. That's a good line out though from Exeter. Can they venture into the Cardiff Met half for what would be the first time in the game? I think relentless is the word we would use to describe Met so far. Strong tackle again. Exceptional work in the middle of the park. It's where it matters. South Picton Powell again, but a break for Exeter. Well, for a moment, I forgot that Cardiff Met had goalposts over to my left. I haven't looked over there for a while. But that's a penalty in a good position, just outside the 22. They certainly won't want discipline to be the reason why they lose today.
That was a lovely line by Kate Smith, though. The first time we've seen this Cardiff Met defence penetrated, really. And that kick is inch perfect, down to the 5 metre line. And you know, we saw Cardiff Met spurn an opportunity up the other end just a matter of minutes ago, and now Exeter have got an opportunity right down the other end to punish them here.
They do indeed. We said set piece would be crucial today. This perhaps the best opportunity to get points on the board so far. Rolling maul it will be. Inside the 5 metre line, bodies everywhere. Somebody's broken through and they've scored the try. It was a mix-up, but Phoenix Davis peeled off the back and dotted down for the first try of the game. Impressive from Exeter from their first chance of the game.
Yeah, but that's what a clean set piece can do. We saw Cardiff Met up the other end make a mistake at the set piece, didn't get any points to show for it. Exeter wrote right down the other end. We can see it again here. Such a clean line out, and then as soon as they get that bit of forward momentum, it's going to take some stopping, and yeah, finished really well by the hooker. A textbook hooker's finish at the end of it.
Well, she's playing hooker today. She used to be a centre when she first started playing rugby. Quite the transition to make. I'm sure she's enjoying life in that number 2 jersey now, though, with the opening try here at Cardiff Met. And an opportunity for them to add a few more as well. Difficult angle. Didn't quite have the accuracy, certainly had the distance, and so it will just be the 5 for Exeter, but not the team we thought would score first, given the opening 10 minutes of the game.
Not maybe a bit against the run of play, but I think it was quite evenly contested in the midfield, and only one break later, and suddenly Exeter were down to the 5 metre line. And yeah, they've been clinical, they've punished, and that's exactly what Met didn't do.
Absolutely. The delay to the kick-off is due to injury, as you can see. Had a couple of little bites and niggles. It's a physical game out there today.
Yeah, as all these women's BUCS Super Rugby games are going to be, it's hotly contested. We've spoken about every single breakdown being very physical and very contestable, and yeah, we're seeing maybe that rubbing off on some of the early injuries.
Absolutely, but we are back underway then, 20 minutes into the game. The score, Cardiff Met 0, Exeter 5. Back to the normal operating procedure for Cardiff Met, pinning opposition inside their own territory.
Great tackle there by Caitlin Hubbard. Another one who's been in and out of 20 setups.
Into the extra half they go again, skipping over challenges there. Lily Relton looking over her shoulder. Brilliant carry.
Defence almost parted there as well. She kept her feet, she'd have been in.
Well, Freya Bell certainly would have the pace to go through if the gaps did open up. Talking of pace, another player for Cardiff Met, Amy Williams, who's got plenty of it. Patient build-up from Cardiff Met. Find themselves behind 20 minutes into this game. Playing good rugby though. That's what matters. They'll fancy their chances. Plenty of time to go.
Yeah, Exeter forced them back 10-15 metres here. It's such solid defence from the visitors so far.
Credit where it's due. The Exeter defence have been called into action early on, and they've been magnificent so far. It's not easy to stop this Cardiff Met side, as Cardiff Uni found out last week. Really was a standout result, that 57-0 over Cardiff Uni in the Arms Park. The men and women doing the double. Really does set the tone for the year for both sides, that Cardiff clash, and what a positive tone these two sides have set. Ania Grundy there with another big tackle. The wingers getting involved.
Yeah, you can really sense the energy from down below, so some of the coaching staff on the side trying to lift the girls here.
Absolutely. The referee will just stop the play for another injury.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of an uncomfortable one, that. So.
Yeah, the referee spotted it very quickly. Coach is heading on as well. Does seem to be something that won't be easy to shake off, we'll put it that way.
9.5 or 10.
So then, good start for Met. Reece, not the scoreline they would have wanted though. Where do they go from here?
I think they need to try and turn Exeter a bit more. We see when they've put kicks in, they've been quite good. They've got them down towards the 22, and they've got Exeter turning back towards their own try line. And if they can do that and get the kicks right, and really put the pressure on, that's where they'll get their joy so far, because they've tried running through Exeter, and so far this Exeter defence is just pushing them backwards. It's been a green and white wall so far.
Absolutely. Well, we won't want any early replacements, any forced replacements. Poppy Leach, though, had the discussion with her player, and she's gone back to report to the team what's going on. An opportunity, a little break in play for the coaches to get perhaps a new message across or reinforce what they said at the start of the game.
Yeah, I think Cardiff Met probably needed this break a bit more. They were sort of starting to lose their way in their attacking shape. They weren't really making any inroads. So, yeah, this break will be good just for them to reset, just for them to get a few ideas on from those on the sidelines who are maybe in a better place to make judgment calls, and yeah, and then go from there.
Up against it in this game, Cardiff Met, and it doesn't get much easier. Durham up next. They'll fancy their chances in that one, but it is away from Kincoid, so difficult place to travel to.
That's probably about 5 a.m. start if they're
It's
playing
an early one.
at a similar time. It's a ridiculous trip up to Durham. I don't envy them. I don't fancy sitting on that bus for 7 or 8 hours.
A tough day at the office, regardless of the rugby team you have to face when you get there. It's a long old way from South Wales.
Yeah, there's some big trips in this league. They got Edinburgh as well. I think they fly to that one though. But yeah, it's a very well-travelled league.
Good opportunity though to see how other teams get on and how they do things. Travelling up to Bath. When I was here, the facilities there magnificent. Of course, Cardiff Met taking on Bath in the men's league after this. 25 minutes in, Cardiff Met 0, Exeter 5, and Cardiff Met awarded a penalty and an opportunity to charge on forward, which they take. Lucy Isaac flooding forward, appeals for a penalty and immediately awarded by the referee. Opportunity squandered.
It's those fine margins though. They win the penalty. Lucy Isaac with a good carry, but the carry's almost too good. He gets her away from her support, and Exeter, to be fair, as they have done throughout this game so far, contesting the breakdown very, very keenly, got straight in there and forced the penalty.
You don't want to be isolated against the likes of Davis and Skeets. They'll rip the ball from you, and if they don't, they'll certainly win the penalty. See a replay here of just how keen that Exeter defence is at winning the ball back. And that set piece perfectly executed as well. Space on the near side if they can get the ball over here, but it's through the middle with Abby Middlebrook as it stands. Here they come now, overload on the left, an opportunity for Eva Sterrett to come forward. Difficult player to bring down into the 22. Exeter travel. That's an important tackle, but again, a few yards gained post contact, and Exeter keep it moving. Phoenix Davis thumped to the ground. But Exeter looking dangerous. They need a big counter-ruck here at Cardiff Met. Exeter with the advantage.
They've got the free play. What are they going to do with it?
Little chip over the top. That's a lovely ball if they can collect it, which they do. As I say that, just fell from the fingertips of the centre.
Much more positive from Exeter though. Ellie Cunningham really pulling the strings from outside half. And they found space on the near side wing initially, and then worked it over to the other side of the pitch really well, and almost found the space in behind the Cardiff Met defensive line there.
You know it's a big game when, like you say, there was a free play there and the creativity immediately was shown. A little chip over the top, plenty of runners chasing the ball. But when you don't have the advantage, you do run the risk of losing the ball. Players much more nervy, happy to pick and go. Sometimes you just wish they'd loosen up and kind of show us what they can do a bit more often.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we want to see a lot of running rugby. It's not a bad day for it. So we want to see them attempt things and try things, and I think that's what the BUCS Rugby League should be all about. It's a development league. So yeah, if you're not going to try things at this level, then I don't know where you are.
Well, Exeter pouncing on the first opportunity they've had to be that little bit more creative with the safety of the advantage. But again, an infringement from the line-out. Few mistakes creeping in at the set piece for both sides.
Proves how vital it is, though. The one that Exeter have got right is the one score of the game.
Exactly. We said at the start it's going to be a big... Well, I don't want to push it too far and say decide the game, but when it is this tight, you've got to be able to rely on your set piece. Let's see how Met get on.
I think I can see some early Archers fans in the background there. That's not the builders from a construction site. Those are Archers fans dressed up as construction workers this evening.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're putting up a new stand here at King Coyd anytime soon, so unless they've clocked off early to come and watch the Met, it probably is fancy dress. Chance for the Archers to clear their lines, which they take. And they'll have an even better opportunity to get some territory back now, thanks to the referee's call.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a bit more invention there, though. I mean, they knew the penalty was coming. Rather than just try and kick the touch, I would have liked to see them maybe try something, maybe try a cross-field or throw the ball a bit wider. But yeah, they're not going to complain about having the penalty advantage, that's just it.
Absolutely not. As you say, crowd filling up nicely as the sports come to an end here at King Coyd. Mentioned the parking already. You've got to be pretty vigilant because a lot of people on the roads. A lot of people on the roads around here. Hockey teams, netball teams, football teams.
Hope they're building a new car park. These ultras, that'd be quite nice.
Yeah. 100%. So, half an hour into the game. Cardiff Met 0, Exeter 5. If you are just joining us, the scoreline doesn't really tell the tale of this game. Cardiff Met came out of the blocks quick. And Exeter's defence equal to the task. And then, like you say, Reece, they took their opportunity when it came. Certainly know how to get a result. This Exeter side, we mentioned how big of a result the Cardiff Clash win was for Cardiff Met. Well, for Exeter beating Edinburgh by 9 points. An opposition that will equally be looking to win the league this season. That's a standout result for them. And a win here would also achieve that accolade. A big carry from the try scorer, Phoenix Davis. Numbers to the left again. They certainly like moving it down to the left with this space for the likes of Eva Sterrett. Cunningham keeping it going. KBA time for Exeter, improving as the game goes on. They've done well, actually. And as I say that, a little bit of a commentator's curse. They've given it away. Unfortunate. Off the heel.
Amount of numbers here.
It's like an arm wrestle, this. One team pushes a few yards, then the other pushes back. Nobody really able to break through.
Yeah, I think Cardiff Met have got to get the ball wide as much as they can, though. We've seen little tiny glimpses of Amy Williams and Nia Grundy when they get the ball. They're the players who can break tackles. They're the players who can open the field up a bit for Cardiff Met. And if they can get them into the game, which is easier said than done, they've got a chance of building back into this. And remember, they're only 5 points down. So, you know, one break, one missed tackle, and they're in.
The difference is only 5 points, and there's plenty of time to go. If you need a sense of urgency, the clock here in Rugby 1 actually counts down from 40. Far more intimidating to look at than the one that counts up. Well, there was a rare opportunity for Morgan Burke to run into space there, but a handling error got rid of the opportunity. A double turnover inside the Met 22. Nobody wants the ball at the moment. Isis Tau under the high ball, effective, and that's a good run as well from Danielle Priest. Another player down. It's a real battle out there today, fair play.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the stop-start nature of this game actually suits at the moment. Exeter were building up quite a bit of pressure there in those last few minutes. And we've spoken about, I keep saying about the breakdown being evenly contested and hotly contested. You know, there was no better example of that than that breakdown just a few minutes ago, where Exeter won the ball back from the first breakdown, and then Cardiff Met won it back from the next breakdown. So yeah, no final example of just how evenly contested these breakdowns have been.
It is always difficult to tell how different the teams are going to be going into each season. Such a big turnover of players year after year, but speaking to the Exeter analyst before the game, he was pretty happy with their retention rate. Said the squad hasn't changed too much. Of course, the back line being changed as it always is, the flair players getting the attention, but really it's the forwards today that have impressed for Exeter.
Yeah, when they work a few phases together, they really play some nice patterns of play. We've seen Cunningham start to pull the strings from outside half, and they'll be wanting to get her hands on it as much as possible and build up the pressure.
Another scrum for Exeter going their way. Space on the left once more, and this is the danger player. Into the 22 she goes. You can see what she can do when she has a yard of space. Inside 5 now, Exeter. This would be a big score. Nowhere to go, just short, but pressure building. Alarm bells ringing for Cardiff Met. There's the space and another try for Exeter. Kate Smith goes over the line and extends Exeter's lead. And it's fair to say, since their first try, the second has only been coming.
Yeah, I think that's been coming. The pressure's been building for Cardiff Met, but that try is all about Eva stare at the captain. Get some space down the wing and gets her way into the 22, offloads as well out to Danny Priest, and then they were up within 5, and from there it was just a matter of taking their time and finding the hole, and they've done it excellently through Kate Smith, and yeah, probably a deserved second score there for Exeter.
Bit of a scramble defence from Cardiff Met, and like I said, it just opened up for Kate Smith, back from a shoulder injury, back into action and scoring tries for Exeter. Second conversion of the day then, unsuccessful again, so Cardiff Met stay within reaching distance. Ellie Cunningham unable to grab the extras. 15 minutes remain of this game then, and Cardiff Met are going to have to start scoring points soon, Reece.
Yeah, they're going to have to, but the way that last 10 minutes have gone, it's only one team who've really built the pressure and built the momentum in that time period, and that is the visitors. And yeah, they'll be really, really happy with how they've come out here. They're really building into the game and looking better and more cohesive with every passing phase.
Absolutely, they've grown into the game, Exeter. That's what the best sides do, stay in it when perhaps they're not playing as well as they'd have liked. They just get better and better as time ticks on. A job ahead of them for Cardiff Met. Thumped away by Ellie Cunningham. Hasn't had the best day from the tee, should we say, but in terms of reliability under the high ball, pretty good.
She might have got away with one there though. That looked like it hit her leg and prevented it going forward.
Does help to have somebody with a big boot behind them. Ellie Cunningham, certainly one of those players. The word we had from the analyst was kicker, and I said, what do you mean? And he said, she's just a brilliant kicker. I said, fair enough, we've seen that already. But again, Exeter win an important penalty just as Met looked dangerous.
Yeah, just a bit of ill discipline maybe creeping into Cardiff, maybe just frustrated with how the flow of the game has gone. A cheap penalty, that clearing out beyond the ruck. And yeah, just gives Exeter a chance to clear their lines and build up a bit more pressure into the Met half.
Nearly involved in a line out there. Again, up in the commentary, a few nervous faces from the cameras. We've got you covered. It's interesting when the lineups come to this side of the field. You can hear the coaches and a few supporters below us.
Yeah, hit it now was the call. Can we decipher what that means?
Throw a dart. Phoenix Davis, one try to her name and a few accurate line-out throws as well to add to the statistics. There's another one. Quick ball this time for Exeter, and that's a huge hit. That one looked high. The line speed was brilliant, the technique not so much. And Exeter have an advantage, utilising it as well, moving it quickly. Haven't seen too much of Danielle Priest so far. Not much play actually down the right side for Exeter. But the warning signs are here, just off camera. Down to the left is the number 11. Eva Sterrett waiting for her opportunity. She'll get it here. Space in front of her, difficult to stop. Perfectly timed offload, and Exeter are rampant here at Rugby 1. It's another try for Kate Smith. Back to back for Smith in the last 5 minutes. Exeter now threatening to run away with this one.
Well, I gave Eva Sterrett a lot of credit for the last try. I'm going to give her even more credit for that try. What a ridiculous offload that was. Off balance, that's such a hard skill to throw that off balance on the run, and she finds the support player absolutely perfectly, and such an effective attack from Exeter. And we saw the ill discipline creeping in from Cardiff Met. 2 penalties there again. Just absolutely ruthless from the visitors. See it, what an offload that is.
Well, yep, sevens player. And as you said, nowhere to hide in sevens. You have to be able to offload under pressure. It's exactly what she did. Cool, calm and collective, and more importantly, aware of the players around it. And her teammates did the rest with no opposition in front of them. Kate Smith grabbing another and providing Ellie Cunningham with an opportunity to score the first conversion of the day, and again narrowly wide. She's getting closer though.
Yeah, definitely, but those misconversions just keep Cardiff Met believing, just keep them in it. You know, that's 6 points now that they've spurned from the tee, and 21-0 would look a lot more ominous for Cardiff Met than 15.
It absolutely would, and it will be fine margins. 11 minutes to go. What should I say? Well, our clock's dead. The Cardiff Met clock absolutely isn't. I trust the referee.
Yeah.
Don't listen to
whatever the ref
us.
says goes.
We'll be back underway shortly as another potential injury is resolved.
Yeah, I think Lucy Isaac on the dead ball line's got an issue as well. Has just been attended to by one of the medics.
I tell you what, I do enjoy coming back and having the confusion of how long is actually left in the game, because the Rugby 1 clock will say one thing, our graphics will say another, and the referee's watch is almost certainly not the same. Still though, 15 first half points for Exeter as they visit Rugby 1. And as I said, after the first 10-15 minutes of the game, that's a mistake in the back for Cardiff Met. Resolved rather quickly though. Credit where it's due, Amy Williams not fazed by the collision.
Yeah, that was well recovered there by Amy Williams. That's one of those where everyone's screaming talk as you can see it happening. But yeah, she's got a bit of a footballing background, so she's pretty comfortable putting the ball on the toe. She used to play for Wales women at age grade level, or Wales under 17s women at football. So she's very comfortable from the boot. Used to play for Cardiff City as well. So yeah, didn't faze her there having to pick herself up and clear her lines. And yeah, has forced a quite good line out here for Cardiff.
Familiar with the phrase "on ya." On that occasion though, it wasn't loud enough and they've conceded what ended up being a line out as Exeter come forward. And there's the penalty. It goes the way of Cardiff Met, and the cheers below me are huge.
Yeah, it's the first breakdown they've got right in a while. Exeter have done really well just protecting their ball. But yeah, just forced Exeter to come in from the side there, and now they've got a real chance to attack for the first time in a very long time in this game.
If you are just joining us, we do have 9 or 10 minutes left in the game. The clock isn't red, not just yet at least. Will be a Cardiff Met line out in a dangerous position. Can we see their rolling maul come into action to help them score tries? Well, it was an immediate charge forward, slightly stalled, but they're creeping on as it stands. There's the ball in the mix there. Away it comes. Pace moving forward, inside 5 metres now for Cardiff Met. Probing once more. This is where they were for a long period of the game. 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game inside Exeter half. Unable to find the breakthrough. Will it come? 8 or so minutes to go. A try here would be massive. A converted try even better. As we said, Exeter missed the opportunity to convert. Cardiff Met very much still in this game. Big carry from Freya Bell. The most threatening Cardiff Met have looked since the start of the game. Well inside 5 metres now. Another big carry in the mix. Still though, they need to get it over the line, and that is difficult to do when a wall of Exeter jerseys are in front of you, and a mistake means that Cardiff Met won't get any points on this occasion.
Such disciplined defence from Exeter though. It's so easy to become a bit too eager there and stray offside, or hit the ruck from the side, or go off your feet. There's loads of different ways you can concede a penalty there, so for them not to have conceded the penalty and then have forced the error from Cardiff Met, massive credit to them, and they'll be so pleased with how this first half has gone for them. And Poppy Leach well, I'm not sure what she's going to say at half time, because I don't think there's much to improve on.
My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. I believe it was a knock on there. Cardiff Met though have come away with the ball. Wonderful work actually from Cardiff Met. If they can grab a score here, how much would that turn the tide of this game? The momentum shifted when Exeter scored their opening try of the game. A response here before half time would make all the difference. Still short a yard or so now, the difference between Cardiff Met staying scoreless at the break. It's right there. One player. All it takes is a big carry. That's a hard line hit by the centre. Has she got the ball down? This would be huge. The answer's no. Well, how big might that have been for Cardiff Met if they'd have scored there? But once again, Exeter, unbelievable in defence.
Yeah, that might be a play that we look back on and conclude that decided the game. I think that was absolutely brilliant by the Exeter defence once again to hold out there.
Morgan Burke under the high ball again. Options to her left. A big tackle. Halts the run of the fullback. Well, it's stressful enough up here in the commentary box watching this. I can't imagine how the coaches feel, how the fans feel. Knocked backwards, kissing it inside the 22. Surely a score for Met is on its way. 5 minutes to go in the half. I'm not sure how intentional that kick was, but it's worked out wonderfully well. Still they come. You have to say, Exeter, unbelievable. Truly, running out of words to describe how good they've been in defence. It's going to take something special to unlock it here. Offside is the call. Penalty to Cardiff Met. Bang on the 22.
Look at that mullet.
Used to sport one of those myself. Not sure I could pull it off these days. That then kicked with a bit of authority from South Picton Powell.
Yeah, it's almost like you've taken a bit of anger out on the ball there.
They're on a mission here, Cardiff Met. Eager to score before half time. Not straight is the call, and those are the errors you just don't want to see if you're a Met supporter in that kind of position, similar to where Exeter got their opening try.
I think they refer to those as coach killers. They do all the hard work, they get down to the 22, and then the set piece goes awry and they concede possession, frankly a bit too cheaply really for Lisa Newton's liking, and Cardiff Met will be disappointed if they go in to the half at 0, because I don't think that's what their performance has suggested.
Absolutely, and you get it so often in BUCS Super Rugby and in the Women's League. The teams are so good, it's such fine margins that you can play exceptionally well for half an hour and you still might be losing the game. Cardiff Met came out the blocks firing, they were impressive early. And the reason we say that is because it's not easy to keep possession against Exeter, but they managed to do so, but they didn't manage to score. And next thing you know, Exeter had not one, not two, but 3 tries. The halftime whistle has gone then here at Rugby 1. Not the scoreline we perhaps predicted, but it's the one we've got, Reece.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of Exeter being clinical where Cardiff Met haven't been. To be honest, we've seen every time that Exeter have entered the 22, they've come away with points. Every time the Met have entered the 22, they've come away with nothing, and that's ultimately the reality of the scoreboard right now. Is the Cardiff Met are on no points and Exeter have got 15.
Absolutely, and as much as this is a massive game for the two sides, it doesn't get much easier. Loughborough's run of fixtures, Exeter's run of fixtures include Loughborough, Durham and Hartpury in the next 3. And as for Cardiff Met, Durham away, we've already spoken about how big of a trip that is. Hartpury away, that's difficult for other reasons. And then Loughborough at home.
Yeah, for Exeter, I know that Loughborough next week is a massive game for them, because that's the team they lost to in the semi-finals last year. So they'll be very keen to get one over them early on in this season.
Absolutely. So there's no point looking ahead because we've still got a game going on here at Rugby 1. We'll be back for the second half and we'll send it back down to pitchside where Meg is waiting.
Well, a 15-0 lead for Exeter. Not quite the start that Met would have wanted, especially after that dominant victory last week, where those Archer Ultras were aplenty. But the wind is picking up here on Rugby 1, and so is the crowd. Let's take a look back at how they made an impact last week.
What about this crowd here tonight?
They're like the 16-man. They bring it every single week. We can feed off them every time there's a big hit. We can hear them roaring. We can't really hear the Cardiff Uni fans. We can just hear them. So it's brilliant. I love them.
The crowd's amazing. It keeps us alive. It keeps our heads up, and we feed off of it on the field.
I think it actually probably inspired them, giving them a lift there. I think it's always tough, isn't it? You can look at it as a distraction, from what's happening off the field and taken away from the rugby. But actually, I think for our girls, we've talked about how it's a distraction, and we've talked about how we can refocus ourselves into the game and to focus on the rugby. So yeah, it's great having the crowd, and I think the girls it energised the girls rather than distracted them.
I think you saw what it meant to them at the end of the game when they went over to the crowd and all their families are here. It's a proud moment for them and a proud moment for the club and the university. And I think that, it is a one-off game, this, and we've started well in previous seasons by winning the first couple of games, but we've had a few low spells as well. So it's up to us to keep on building and keep on growing now. And I think that's going to be the key message moving forward for us.
Oh, how the Ultras can roar. And I am now joined by 2 new students. I've got Aled Hopkins and Will Shepherd with me. Now, you were both there for the clash last week. How crazy was that atmosphere?
It was brilliant. It was, for both of us, our first clash. And we had the opportunity to be in the crowd for the women's game before we jumped on commentary for the men's. And I mean, the numbers that turned out for Cardiff Met to support them in the women's game was fantastic to see.
And how much of a difference do you think an atmosphere can make in a game like this where they are so behind?
Yeah, it's huge. I think, the crowd plays such a key part in sports fixtures all around the world, not just in university sport. And it can really, really lift the girls and the boys. And we certainly heard, even though we were on the Cardiff side, we certainly heard the Met supporters last week. And especially when the tries were going in, there was plenty of noise from that side.
Now, although the women are struggling at the moment, there is still the men's game to come this evening as well. That is live at 6:30. We'll be on air from 6:10. In terms of the boys' game, last week at the Clash, what did you think of their performance? Did anybody stand out for you particularly?
Yeah, I think it was a really ruthless performance. In truth, I think Cardiff Met really took their opportunities when they had them. I think for me it was the likes of Chris Johnson, the centre, especially in the second half. They managed to get him into the game, and then I think the forwards pack as a collective 8 really dominated up front and pushed the team over the line when they got into the sort of red zones.
Will, what about for you? Any standout players? Anyone we need to keep an eye on this evening?
Yeah, I mean, I think the bench made a huge difference for Met last week as the players came on, brought those fresh legs, and none more so than BUCS Meyer. He slotted into the 10 role with Crimp moving to fullback and putting an excellent kick pass try for Kerwin in the second half, and it was kind of at that point that it felt like the match was sealed for Cardiff Met. So look for him, I think, to make a similar impact today.
And I know it seems like the impossible question, but have you got any score predictions for this evening against Bath?
I mean, I'm going to say it's going to be tight. I was having a good chat to Ian Gardner yesterday when the boys were training. He didn't want to say he was confident, but this is 3 weeks in a row. The side's been unchanged. So I think that they can definitely go toe-to-toe with Bath.
I'm going to go for a high-scoring game tonight. Quite a close game, as Will said. If you're asking me for a score, I'll give it 31-26 to Met.
Ooh, specifics. We like that. Now, just to bring it back to the game in hand at the moment, what do you think the Met women need to do to bring it back?
I think it's been a close game, a tight game. I think Exeter have defended really, really well. I think a little bit quicker, maybe getting the ball through the hands in their attack, a little bit more potency, and just try and get girls out in space, the speedsters out in space, and really break the lines of the Exeter defence, because they've been excellent so far.
And Will, what about for you?
For me, it's red zone completion. Exeter have been down in Cardiff Met's end, and they've taken their opportunities when they've come. When we've seen Cardiff Met in the Exeter 22, they haven't been able to take those chances. Frustratingly short, just moments before half time there. So that's really where they've got to turn their fortunes around for me.
And you've been here a week here at Cardiff Met Sport TV. How have you guys found it?
It's brilliant. I know that all of you who've been through the programme before have absolutely loved it, from those of you that came back for the documentary screening and then today. We're all really loving it, and I'd recommend it to anyone that's looking to get into broadcast.
Excellent. Well, you heard it here first. These boys are loving it. And one other person I believe is loving it is Rob Burke. Back to you, Rob.
Very warm welcome back then to the second half of this BUCS Super Rugby showdown at Rugby 1. It's the women taking the stage here at King Coyd campus before we see the men go head to head with Bath a little bit later on. It was an impressive game in the first half. Exeter 3 tries to Cardiff Met's 0. But the scoreline doesn't really tell the story of the first half. Alongside me is Rhys Williams. And Rhys, just give us a little breakdown of how the first half went.
Started quite evenly, and then Exeter grew into the game, scored 3 very clinical tries, including an absolute cracker, their third try. And Met got it all to do in the second half. They got work to do.
It's very early days in this BUCS Super Rugby season, but familiar names are already staking their claim at the top of the table. Hartbury leading the pack after 2 games. Edinburgh closely behind, and Cardiff Met looking to take a spot up there as well, alongside the visitors today, Exeter. As it stands, Exeter will leapfrog Met.
There's a bit of confusion, I think, about where that ball was kicked from, because obviously if it was kicked inside Met's half, it would be a 50-22, and indeed it is.
Well, the smiles tell the story as we see the replay there.
Did that look like it was behind the line to you?
Depends if I've got my Cardiff Met glasses on or not. I'm going to say it was. They've lost the line out though, and again a good opportunity for Cardiff Met squandered. And Exeter will drive the ball the other way until they're stalled by the Cardiff Met forwards once again. Positive though from Exeter. Substitutes on the field now. Josie Plant, the latest carrier for Exeter. And an opportunity again for Ellie Cunningham to clear her lines. Amy Williams, her first opportunity really of the second half to put on the burners. Not quite after burners yet. Still early days, plenty of energy left in the tank.
No, still getting the engine revved.
Absolutely. They'll need a bit of invention in the second half. Cardiff Met, we said, they had plenty of possession, plenty of territory in the first half. No score. Something needs to change if they're going to come away with a victory today. And really, the scoreline doesn't have too much to do with how well Cardiff Met are playing, because Exeter have been brilliant, and any team would struggle against a side playing like Exeter are.
Yeah, fairly flawless so far, and I think the one thing that makes a massive difference, which you see demonstrated again there, is the boot of Ellie Cunningham. I think in women's rugby at the moment, what a lot of teams struggle to do is actually clear their lines and get the ball away with distance. And because she's got a very good boot on her, they can get the ball away and they can turn backwards and really build up the field, and that makes a massive difference. So we saw it again there, kicking to the touch, she kicks into the 22, and now they've got an attacking opportunity.
I mentioned it in the first half. The analyst was running through the players for us, giving us the key attributes, the clubs the players play for. Got to Ellie Cunningham, and he just said, massive kicker. And we're seeing that here already. Well inside the 22 now, Exeter, unstoppable in this position today.
They've got a free play as well.
Well, just shy of 5 metres. Lily Relton into the side, late on, space on the left. That's a lovely step. Just short of the line, but Exeter threatening to add 5 more to the scoreline here. Met have work to do. That's a big push. The referee takes a look, still short. In fact, he's going to bring it back for the penalty just in time. I wasn't sure if he was going to give a try there. It was inches the difference.
Yeah, I think maybe a slight fumble on the line from Exeter there, but again, so clinical from the set piece, got them going forward, and the pressure's really, really on for Met now, because if Exeter get this next score, I think it's a long way back for Cardiff Met.
It is indeed, but the saving grace being that none of the tries so far have been converted. The score does remain 15-0. Could have been a lot worse though. Met have work to do though, or the scoreline, as you say, is going to get a little bit worse early in the second half. The Exeter rolling maul, the stuff of nightmares for many a side in BUCS Super Rugby. There's a dive for the line, and celebrations are on the Met side.
Yeah, I praised Exeter's defence on their own line at the end of the first half. I'm going to praise Cardiff Met's defence there. So easy to lose your patience and lose your shape and get punished there, but fair play to that line-out defence. They held firm and have reaped the rewards.
Given away though, dangerous position to do such a thing. The try scorer takes the ball inside 5 metres for Exeter. Phoenix Davis, the latest carrier. Right it goes, straight down the heart of the Cardiff Met defence. The referee takes a look and awards the try. Punished for their mistake, Cardiff Met. And the lead is extended further by Anna Richardson, newly appointed vice-captain, and proves her worth with a try here at Rugby 1.
Yeah, we'll just see this one again. It's a great carry, using those leg drives to get her forward, and the ability to finish from there as well. Fantastic for Exeter, and the perfect start of the second half, and exactly the start that Lisa Newton and Cardiff Met didn't want.
And I'm sure Ellie Cunningham will be grateful for the opportunity to take a kick actually in the centre this time around. The last 3 have been further out wide. And certainly back the number 10 to convert from here, which she does. Extras for Exeter, and trouble for Cardiff Met, Reece.
Yeah, big trouble now. They've just brought Seren Singleton on, who adds a lot of experience. She's played a lot of Wales under 20s level, but has also been involved with Bristol Bears recently in the PWR Up series. So yeah, she'll really bring an experience that I think Met need at a half-back at the moment, because they were losing their way with a lot of phases, and I think she'll ensure that doesn't happen.
Indeed. So if you are just joining us then, the score, Cardiff Met 0, Exeter 22, as I thought the stand here was about to collapse from underneath me. I'm as scared as the Cardiff Met defence have been in the opening few minutes of the second half. Hopefully the wind doesn't pick up anytime soon and we might be commentating from pitch side instead. 33 minutes remain then for Cardiff Met to make something happen. Where are the tries going to come from, Reece?
Well, I think they've got to get the wingers involved more than they have done. They've got to get Amy Williams in the game. I think Sarah Singleton's been massive for them. And we'll see what she can do here, just adding a bit of tempo into their play, really.
Look at that push from Exeter. So difficult to counter. They win the penalty.
Yeah,
celebrated like a try, that one.
Scrum half's worst nightmare there. Singleton got stuck at the back of it and couldn't get the ball out, and then they were going backwards and backwards, and yeah, such good play from the Exeter forwards, and they're really up for this second half. They've come out of the box absolutely firing, and they're looking to put Met to the sword here.
They are indeed. You cannot write Cardiff Met out of any game, especially not a Cardiff Met side capable of, handing it to Cardiff Uni in the clash. 57-0 that was. Tries are certainly on the cards for this team, but they'll need a few if they're going to get a result here. That ball was not straight, and even though my eyesight isn't as good as it used to be, that one's slightly more obvious.
Yeah, I think it's a sensible choice that Met are taking the line up, though. I haven't seen the state of the last scrum.
Just down to our right then, as we said, the coaches down there heavily involved and get very vocal. So there's a lot of pressure from the line-out. They've given it away again, Cardiff Met, putting themselves in a difficult situation. Carried into the 22 by Brogan Kent, and they look dangerous here, Exeter. Building once again, space on the left as there has been for the majority of this game. There's the error. A bit of respite for Cardiff Met. And they haven't started this half quite as well as the first. A bit of defending to do in the opening stages.
Yeah, a lot of it has come from the work of Ellie Wood in the second row, though, for Exeter. She's disrupted a couple of Met lineouts in the second half already, and not only disrupted them, actually won them cleanly, which makes a massive difference. And when your scrum is not going well and your lineout isn't functioning well, it's a pretty hard day at the office, and Met are really struggling at the moment, so they'll be hoping that this scrum goes slightly more successfully than the last.
Well, resilience will be a key word for Cardiff Met here, and they'll need to show it to get back into the game, and how about that for a carry and a bit of resilience. Penalty to Cardiff Met, well deserved, and they'll waste no time taking it. I imagine substitutions made. Hannah Lane on. Plenty of energy on the bench for Cardiff Met, and we're seeing it in the second half.
Yeah, we'll watch that again. I suspect that's one of those that if you slowed it down, it would look a lot worse. Just goes in a bit higher there. Cunningham.
No fear whatsoever with that carry. It's fantastic to see. Feel much safer up in the commentary box, but not want to be out there. Not with runners like that, and that's a big part of their game as well, hitting lines hard. That's what they'll need to do to get on the score sheet. Much more effective this time from the line out as well. Hannah Lane bursting through, and actually double carry there. She did well to release and keep it. Quicker ball from Met, a little bit of space opening up, and it's a charge on through for the centre. Into the 22 she goes. Brilliant ball actually, and the chance is still alive. South Picton Powell created the opportunity, and it will be the substitute who finishes it off for Cardiff Met. Seren Singleton over the line. The gap is reduced. Game on.
Yeah, this is all about the work of Savannah Picton Powell initially, and then Seren Singleton, who, much to our confusion in the commentary box, is actually wearing 23.
It's all over the place, the numbers here.
Picked and Powell here into Singleton. I want to see this offload again because I didn't quite catch it in real time. Out the back door, absolutely brilliantly.
Well, they won't care who scored. All that matters is that Cardiff Met are on the score sheet. The score here in Rugby 1, according to the big screen, is 5 to Cardiff Met, 99 to Exeter, which is interesting. Be a hell of a comeback if they turn that one around. Rest assured, it is Cardiff Met 5, Exeter 22, and an opportunity for 2 more points. Big thump. That certainly had the distance, just off target, and it will remain justified for Cardiff Met. But the fight back is alive.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I spoke up about Sarah Singleton added some tempo to the game because she's come on the field and set up a try instantly. So I now look like a genius. But yeah, still a long way to go in this one, and still plenty of time for Met to get back in it, definitely.
As we said, a bit of confusion with the team sheets here. But the try was down, Reece, and you seem to know who scored it.
Yeah, I think it was Hannah Lane who got the try. She's another one who's been involved at Wales under 20 levels from Carnarvon up in North Wales. But yeah, she'll be delighted to come on and make an impact on this game. And yeah, plenty of work for Met to do, but it's a start. It's points on the board.
Coming away with it again then, Cardiff Met, and regardless of the jersey number, Sarah Singleton involved in the game so far. I believe she's got 23 on her back, but that is a guess, I have to admit.
Suddenly the ill discipline that Exeter weren't showing in the first half is coming to fruition a bit more here, and Cardiff Met are really putting pressure on, which they haven't done to up until this point. So yeah, Lisa Newton will be delighted with the reaction. And that's a good kick right down towards the 5 metre line, and the pressure builds again for Exeter. If Met can get a score here, then it really is game on.
Well, we've seen them in this situation a few times today, and it hasn't quite come together when it's really mattered. They've got themselves on the score sheet, and if they can do it again here, it'll make a difference. They've won a penalty, actually.
I think they can knock straight the loose line out, has reared its ugly head once more.
Real shame. They've had so many opportunities to get on the score sheet. They're back in this, Cardiff Met.
Yeah, I keep saying still a lot of work to do, but that's the reality of the situation, is that they're still, 4 scores down ultimately. 3 scores down. My maths is not great. 3 scores down, but yeah, they've still got a long way to go to get back into this one. But they can take confidence from their score, where they did manage to open up Exeter for the first time in this game.
It's confirmation then of the Cardiff Met try scorer. It was Hannah Lane in the number 21 jersey going over the line. Into touch it goes. 56 minutes gone then, and the Exeter lead not quite as assured as it was.
A couple more replacements for Exeter there as well. I can see Elsie Fairn, who was the travelling reserve, has been called in late to the squad. So we'll see how ready she is for this encounter.
Well, there were plenty of changes to the Cardiff Met side. As I mentioned, there's WXV action going on. Maisie Davis, Molly Reardon, both Met students out in South Africa for the WXV2. And so there has been a little bit of a rejig with the squad, but that is something BUCS rugby teams have to deal with all the way through the year. Mentioned how many Exeter Chiefs players are involved with Exeter Uni. A very clear pathway for these players.
Yeah, I think that's the exciting thing about the professionalisation of women's rugby at the moment, is that these opportunities are being opened up for them to play internationally, to play for huge clubs.
So back underway then from the scrum. Beautiful offload to the try scorer. We know now it's Hannah Lane wearing number 21, and she's playing wonderfully well in the jersey. And an opportunity for her side to double their points tally here, 5 metres out. Big reason why they've come back into this game. Saren Singleton getting the ball moving quicker from the breakdown. And that is a penalty to Cardiff Met, celebrated just below us by some of the coaches. Can they double their points tally here at Cardiff Met? Well inside 5 metres, as they have been on many occasions in this game. Just the one score to show for it so far. They were playing with an advantage, nothing they could do though.
Yeah, the penalty's piling up for Exeter, and I sense the referee will just have a word with the captain, Eva Sterrett, just to let her know that maybe the next one might get punished with a trip to the bin.
You don't want discipline to be the reason why you lose a game of this magnitude. And as you say, just a few fouls creeping into Exeter's game, a little bit more desperate in defence as Met pile on the pressure. The whistle goes, and we resume just that pressure from Cardiff Met. Looking to go straight down the middle, but a big push from Exeter prevents the score there. The try scorer for Exeter turned defender Phoenix Davis, as Cardiff Met send it out wide. Couldn't quite bring it under control though, and again they've lost a fair bit of territory here. Closer to the 22 now though. And Exeter win the penalty, and the attack peters out.
Yeah, that's a massive, perhaps pendulum swing of momentum in the game once more. Cardiff Met were building up pressure. You felt if they got another score, then their tails would be up and they'd be right back in it. Suddenly, they're still 3 scores down, more time's been wasted, and crucially Exeter have got the ball back. Just see the work at the breakdown here. From the full-back.
All the way through it goes then to the back, and Exeter bring it over the halfway line. Typical of the first half. Met pressure. Strong Exeter defence, but Met have won it back. Another crucial penalty here at Rugby 1. They need tries though, and they need them quickly.
Penalties are piling up though. That's another one conceded by Exeter there.
They won't have many more warnings from the referee. It's been pretty fair so far and pretty forgiving. Crash ball for Lucy Isaac. Good handling though, and they'll come forward again. Cardiff Met squeezing through the gap, of which there are so few. Gabby Heelan has found a bit of space on a couple of occasions, but immediately that space is closed down. Stuck on the halfway here at Cardiff Met. And that'll be another penalty to Cardiff Met.
Yeah, more and more penalties being conceded by Exeter. They're not going to get punished for this one because it's on the halfway line, but yeah, I think that's more a credit to Met than it's a discredit to Exeter, really. I think the work of Singleton in particular coming on and really adding some tempo into the game, getting the ball away from the breakdown quickly, has meant that Met have been able to build up a bit more pressure and force those penalties.
Yeah, the energy's been brilliant from Sarah Singleton. You can see her there in the number 23 jersey, much to our confusion, I have to say. Nevertheless, playing very well. And she's really given Cardiff Met that bit of energy they needed to get the first score. Still a bit of work to do, though.
Yeah, but still they've got 20 minutes. I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of from here. And last year, you know, they came back from a similar kind of scoreline at half-time to beat Exeter here at Rugby 1.
As Reece said, would be the first loss in 3 games. Did the double last season, an impressive double. I think it's fair to say Exeter, as always, a strong team in BUCS Super Rugby. No small feat beating this team. To the front it goes and given away once more. The ref has called it.
Yeah, I think the Exeter players will be a bit disappointed there because they'd successfully gathered the possession. So,
well, in fairness, the players played on. I didn't hear the referee's whistle. It obviously gone. But again, since the Met try, the players just gone back to a little bit stop-start, and that'll suit Exeter. They've got the lead. All they need to do is protect it.
yeah, definitely. And the other thing that we haven't mentioned so far is they've got the bonus point as well, which is so crucial in BUCS Super Rugby.
As I said in the opening, every point will matter. Such a tight league. Pushed back on this occasion as the wind at Rugby 1 picks up ever so slightly. The decision this time goes the way of Exeter. And every decision at the moment being celebrated as if they scored.
Yeah, it's hotted up on that far side. There's some real energy from the Exeter bench in particular. I can see making a right old racket at the moment.
It is indeed. Well, Lily Relton, the centre for Exeter, playing over on the far side. The appearance in the stands. They were keen for the action to get underway. Of course, Lily's brother, a BUCS rugby legend, Arthur Relton. I'm sure her parents have been to a fair few BUCS Super Rugby matches in their time.
Yeah, they'll know what this league is all about, and they'll know that Exeter haven't won this game yet.
Anything can happen in BUCS Super Rugby. This becoming a dangerous sight, though, for the Met defenders. An Exeter lineup. They've been better at the set piece today. Brilliant tackle, though. Gabby Heelan on her opposite number. And there's the knock on, and I'm not sure how much the microphones will pick up, but there's a few coaches below me very happy with that one. The referee's had a good game today. Not too much has got past him.
Yeah, just lost forward on the floor there was good from Gabby Heelan initially in the tackle, and then sort of disrupted the breakdown as well and forced the knock on.
Brilliant tackle from Gabby. Unfortunate, you would say, for Exeter going forward. Nevertheless, Met need the ball and they need to get it up the other end of the field, and they'll look to do that here. Brilliant passing. And the chip over the top, slightly wayward. They did have an advantage.
And they're going to get a player in the bin here, Exeter.
The captain, Eva Sterrett, shown the yellow card. She had the warnings when Cardiff Met were camped inside their 5 metres. And the referee meant what he said, yellow card.
Yeah, it looked like a deliberate knock on from here. Quite difficult for us to see because I think the ball actually ended up in Savannah Picton-Powell's hands, so it actually looked like a great pass by one of the Met players, but I'm pretty sure it was a as a result of Sterrett's intervention, which was duly punished.
Deliberate knockdown. Sees Cardiff Met then with a player up in the last half an hour or so of this game. Weaving her way through, Amy Williams with a bit more space in front of her now. A slip creates an opportunity for Cardiff Met to charge on through. Goes one way then the other. Kissinger didn't quite have the legs to charge on all the way through, but support arrived and still they come forward now, Cardiff Met. A chance of USA below me as Erica Kissinger found a gap.
And that feels massive. Met win the line out inside the Exeter 22, and we spoke about every point being important. We've got to remember that there's still at least a bonus point in this for Cardiff Met at the moment. So yeah, trying, they're really right back in it in terms of not just today but the wider table, looking ahead for the rest of the season.
At the very least 27 or so minutes to go. Plenty of time for Cardiff Met to not only get that bonus point but a win in this game. That yellow card looks to have really shifted the momentum here at Rugby 1. Exeter defensive. Cardiff Met into the 22, beating one. Lovely offload. Space though closed down very quickly, and Amy Williams really threatening now to do some damage to Exeter. Chloe Gant pushed backwards. Good hands in the middle of the park. Sarah Webster takes it to ground. They won't want to give the ball away here. Good support at the breakdown from Cardiff Met. South Picton Powell, the latest carrier.
They've got the penalty coming, they've got the free play as well.
They do. Let's see a little bit of creativity. Exeter had the opportunity in the first half of a penalty advantage inside the 22, and they showed us something quite spectacular. Have Cardiff Met got something similar in the locker? The referee called knock on there. You could hear it. He's going to go back for the penalty, and they've taken it quickly. And there's it's dropped from Cardiff Met. Another penalty. Relentless. Relentless. And we might see another card here. And we will. Back-to-back yellow cards for Exeter. Lily Relton, well, I just finished singing her praises. Her parents in the stands watching on. She's certainly not afraid to put in a tackle. And really an accumulation of fouls from Exeter is a big reason why two of them are in the sin bin.
Yeah, Cardiff Met have got to score here. There's no other way of putting it.
Now or never, really, from Cardiff Met. If they're going to come away with a win here, they need to get some more points on the board. Space out wide, numbers over. The biggest opportunity for a brace and for Cardiff Met to get back into the game. Make no mistake, it's Hannah Lane this time.
Well, Hannah Lane off the bench and onto the score sheet twice now. Brilliant finish from the winger. That looks easy, but you needed a good bit of pace and a good turn of pace as well to get past that final defender.
Well, reset it. They needed a score and they needed it quickly. Hannah Lane in yards of space on the right hand side beats the defender and dots it down for a second of the day. And as we said, she did a little bit of a Houdini on us earlier, changing squad numbers in the build-up. And as I said earlier, they won't care who scores as long as they do score. And they've got to, and they're absolutely back in the game, Reece.
Yeah, it feels massive getting a score there as well, because now they get another attack, at least against a side with 13 players on the field. So there should be plenty of spaces for Met to exploit.
And there is plenty of time remaining, 24 minutes to go. And that conversion is spectacular. Points when they needed it. The most impressive conversion of the day. And a conversion that may prove crucial.
Spoke about Amy Williams' football prowess earlier. It was on full display there. What a kick from the touchline. Exeter deliberately taking their time, should we say, with coming up for the restart here. using all the tricks in the book.
They're in no rush to take it as we see the conversion again. As you said, Amy Williams looked as though she was whipping a ball to the back post. Through the uprights it goes. The score now, Cardiff Met 12, Exeter 22. Game on here at Rugby 1. Well, game about to be back on. We do have a little bit of a delay. There is an injury, I think, in the back line.
But, you know, we really are set up for a great finish here. Cardiff Met, one more score and they're really, really, really right back in it, and all their momentum and pressure would be with them. And they've got to make sure that whilst there are only 13 on the field, that they take full advantage here and they exploit the spaces that are likely to be in this Exeter defence.
Well, that's why we love BUCS Super Rugby. Anything can happen, anything is possible, and as I said at the start of this game, every point counts. We'll see how big the 2 points from the conversion will turn out to be. Cardiff Met at the moment on the hunt for a bonus point loss, but realistically a win very much possible here. The looping ball finds its way out of play, celebrated by the Cardiff Met fans below me, of which there are plenty.
Yeah, I think Exeter would probably have preferred to have taken the scrum there and just taken the sting out of the game a bit.
Well, Penny, for her thoughts, doesn't look incredibly happy at the moment.
No, this is the stressful point of the game if you're a coach.
It is indeed. Better from Cardiff Met. Space on the left, as we mentioned, 2 yellow cards for Exeter. They've got numbers. And it's the first time in the game Amy Williams has had any kind of space out wide. Here she is now. Amy Williams, one-on-one. That's what she wants. Wrapped up this time, but gets the offload away. Catherine Stewart keeps the ball alive. Support needed because Josie Plant is a big tackler. It's crazy how hard they're hitting right now.
Got to give massive credit for the Exeter defence here. They're down to 13 and they've just forced a kick.
It's incredible, eh? Really is. Brilliant defending. They were impressive with 15. It's arguably more impressive that they're holding this strong with 2 yellow cards. Just the desire. Lucy Ward in there, mentioned already, Josie Plant. Substitutes absolutely doing their job.
I think it's quite easy to criticise Cardiff Met's decision to kick there, but I think honestly it was forced. They weren't going anywhere, even against the 2 defenders less.
Pinpoint accuracy from the line out again, though. Nightmare fuel, this rolling maul from Exeter. It only goes one way, and it isn't the way the opposition want it to.
They've got the penalty as well, and this will eat a bit more time out of those 2 yellow cards.
It will. They'll want to keep the ball for as long as possible. Cardiff Met have had plenty of possession today. Exeter, though, comfortable with and without the ball. Bringing it back for that penalty. And as you say, that'll just eat into the time. Eva Sterrett, the first player sent off. Lily Relton shortly after.
It's important those Exeter leaders really step up as well with their captain off the field and make the right decisions here.
This is where experience comes into play. Exeter finishing second in the league last year. Lost to Loughborough in the semi-finals of the playoff. They're a team that knows how to go the distance in a league season. And in the playoffs as well. And their big advantage this time around is that it wasn't a total clear out of the squad. They've still got experience, plenty of third years still involved here for Exeter. Master students as well. And this rolling maul really is impressive.
But I think Cardiff Met have got to get a couple more numbers in there. They've got 2 extra players. They can afford to do it. And I don't know why they're not.
Well, they want to keep the likes of Amy Williams out as wide as they can, but right now they've got defending to do. Win the ball back first, worry about attacking after, because Exeter even with 13, remain dangerous. Inside the 22, in the hands of the 22, Tilly Westwood. Georgie Barker to Anna Richardson, the captain. She'll be delighted with how her team have performed so far. Ellie Wood now, moving ever closer.
I've got to contest every single breakdown here.
They do indeed. A knock-on from Cardiff Met will mean that again Exeter have an opportunity from a good position to get some more points on the board, but more importantly, they're burning that time from the yellow card right down. And as I say that, Eva Sterrett back on the field, up to 14 now, and we saw how dangerous they were with 13.
Yeah, those felt like a really pivotal couple of minutes in deciding the eventual outcome of this game, and Exeter managed them so well. You know, it's so easy to crumble when you go down to 13 and see the space, but fair play to them.
Absolutely, the coaches from Exeter will be delighted to see no points really conceded. Down to 13 players.
I can see Freya Bell coming off with what looks like an injury for Cardiff Met as well, so they'll be disappointed to lose their outside half. Again, it'll mean that Savannah Picton-Powell, who has played outside half for Cardiff Met before, will step in.
Absolutely, Freya Bell, under 20s international for Wales, as many of these players are. Right now though, they've got some defending to do. Exeter on the charge, and there isn't quite as many players over as they'd have liked because they are down to 14 now. Eva Sterrett back on the field and immediately back into the action for Exeter. Space on the left, where's that come from? Players over, and Cardiff Met scrambling ever so slightly. 3 on the left, might not even need them. The substitutes combining. Cardiff Met win the penalty. How big might that be? Getting a bit breathless up here, just waiting for the moment. Cardiff Met win it back, baying for it to come, and in the end it does. They're running it close here though.
That's a great kick. To execute that under the pressure of just a few minutes to go, knowing you've got to get it right to get the ball back in, Savannah Picton-Powell does so brilliantly. Very little angle to work with as well. That's a fantastic kick, and it gets Met into a position where they can start to build an attack. If they get the line out right.
They've done very well to pick that one out of the sky. Fingertip catch there. And numbers over on the left. This is what they've been building to. Inside they go though. Amy Williams calling for the ball. She won't have her opportunity yet. Not long to go here at Rugby 1. 10 points the difference. Morgan Burke dealt with the high ball very well. Quickly shuffles it on to Amy Williams. Saren Singleton dives upon it. You can't. Not going to get away with anything here. The referee's been eagle-eyed.
Yeah, it's been very good to be fair. But yeah, that's again fantastic defence from Exeter. You know, forced the kick initially from Saren Singleton and then forced the penalty as well.
Plenty of building blocks for Cardiff Met, though a real standout trait of their players so far today has been their composure in the tackle. Not flustered post-contact. As we said earlier, very typical of Sevens players, that composure to offload and keep the play moving, and when they've had the opportunity to do it, they've done it very well. Unfortunately, really, for Cardiff Met, Exeter have just done it that little bit better today.
Yeah, plenty of positives to take for both sides. Obviously, Exeter will be the much happier team coming away with the 5 points at the moment, but yeah, still plenty of time for that to change.
Georgia Moulton, her line out slightly wayward. And Met have the ball back, still time for a score. Chloe Thomas-Bradley on the field. Another Welsh under-20s international. Patient build-up again, perhaps too patient. Rocketed into the air. Difficult one to deal with for Isis Tau. Manages to do so though, and that's given away. Chance for Hubbard to come forward. Offloaded from the ground, back to back. Amy Williams baying for the ball on the left. Was room really. Back the other way they go. Probing Cardiff Met now in the closing stages of this game.
They've got to keep patient here. They know that this point might mean the difference between second or third at the end of the season.
It will indeed. Bonus points available, like you said.
Can't go chasing after anything. They've got to keep building the pressure and hope that they can find the gap. Really important not to force the pass.
It is still early days in the BUCS Super Rugby season. But if you do take a look at the table, it is very tight. Both of these sides will be looking to be up there come the end of the season. A try here for Met would secure at the very least a losing bonus point. More accurate to the back, but again a mistake. The ball was caught, but the ruling goes in favour of Exeter. How many times have we seen Met in a dangerous position well inside the Exeter 22 from a line out to scrum, and they've just got it wrong at the very last second.
I think the positives are though, that they're getting into those positions initially. It's much easier to fix something if you're actually getting into the positions to punish them. So these are it's still work in progress. It's still very early in the season for both these sides. So there's plenty to learn and plenty to improve on throughout the season.
Absolutely, it shows the level of BUCS Super Rugby at the moment when you can play as well as Cardiff Met and still come away in defeat. Exeter then victorious here at Rugby 1. The scoreline, Cardiff Met 12, Exeter 22. Doesn't tell the whole story. Cardiff Met valiant in their attempt here, but in the end the quality of Exeter and their clinicalness inside the 22 was the difference. Job done for Exeter. Cardiff Met though, they'll be disappointed not to come away with anything.
Yeah, for Exeter to come to South Wales, get 5 points and prevent Cardiff Met from getting any, that's a massive result for them. They'll be absolutely delighted with that, and I'm sure there'll be some big celebrations on the coach journey home. I think it was a matter throughout the game of Exeter just being the more clinical side. When they got into the dangerous positions, more often than not, they were the ones scoring the tries. Met got into a lot of dangerous positions throughout the game, didn't come away with the points, and in the end, come away with nothing from the game. And Lisa Newton will be, albeit taking some positives, bitterly disappointed with the full-time result.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I said it at the close there. You can play wonderfully well, but in a league like this, you have to be perfect. And in fairness to Exeter, they were pretty perfect today, even without the ball. Hugely comfortable, and when it really mattered, when the opportunity to score points was on the cards, they took the opportunity. And really, it could have looked a lot worse for Cardiff Met. 3 tries back to back to back, no conversions though. That gave Met a little bit of hope.
Yeah, they got a lot of positives taken, particularly from that second half. I think Sarah Singleton coming on really added to them. They got Hannah Lane into the game, they got Amy Williams into the game, and they got a lot more out of the second half than the first half, obviously with the 12 points as well. But I think Exeter, just such a clinical performance, and I think they've really got a point to prove this season. They lost out in a heartbreaking fashion last season to Loughborough. Poppy Leach has mentioned they took a long time for her to get over that result. But what we're seeing this season is a team who come out with a bit of maybe anger, a bit of a point to prove maybe, and they want to go those extra couple of steps further, make it to that final and become the champions of this league. And fair play to them. They've come here to South Wales today and they've got another 5 points on the board.
We spoke about how important set piece might be today, and we did say that really whoever got the set piece right would probably win the game. And Exeter, their first try came from that line out inside the 22. Phoenix Davis, one of the third years, one of the more experienced players in that Exeter side. She made her move from centre and it's working out for her, scoring the first try of the game.
Yeah, I thought that was really good, and Cardiff Met had an opportunity a couple of minutes before it to open in the scoring. They didn't take it, and Exeter punished them duly with the first, second and third tries in very quick succession.
Well, we will have a few coaches for you very shortly. Just to wrap up then, Cardiff Met, you mentioned the positives. They've got a tough game coming up, or should I say a tough journey coming up. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. We're going to throw back down to pitchside where Meg is waiting for some insight from the coaches.
Lisa Newton. Lisa, after last week's excitement, what happened for you out there today?
Listen, like Exeter, they're no slouches. They came to compete and compete they did. They played some really good rugby, really good connected rugby in the first half, and I think the scoreboard in the first half probably didn't reflect where we played the game. A lot of the game was played in their half, and good territory for us. But they took advantage of the chances when they had them, and fair play to them, yeah.
What do you think in your squad you need to work on after that performance today?
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Sorry.
No, you're right. I think, listen, there's always plenty to work on, isn't there? We've got to pick our big focuses and go from there. But I think for me, it's how we start the game. Like, we're obviously very capable. You saw that in the second half performance. We now got to bring that 40 minutes earlier. So whatever it is in preparation for it, that's what we need to do.
And away to Durham next week, there's quite a trek really. How do those away games kind of affect you like that when they are long journeys?
They are tough. I mean, the bus journeys, it's hard, isn't it? Trying to keep the girls mobile and moving and not sort of like sat and stiff and things like that. But we're doing a lot around like performance and preparation for games. So we've looked at what we can do and what we can implement on those long journeys. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to turn the results around next week.
And you have got some extraordinary players in your squad. How does that make you feel as a coach to see them achieve these great things outside of, say, just university rugby?
Yeah, it's excellent. And ultimately, for me as a head coach of the programme, it's about where they go after this. We are, part of their journey. The journey doesn't end with us. So it's fantastic to see girls being pulled up and called into other squads and being asked to do performances and invitationals, whatever. So it's great. I like it. It makes me feel good. And I'm sure it makes them feel good too.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So next up we have head coach from our winning side, Exeter. It is Poppy Leach. Come on in.
Cheers.
First of all, congratulations.
Thanks.
What a performance out there today. How was that from a coaching side of things?
First half enjoyable, second half not so enjoyable. 2 yellow cards, discipline kind of got the better of us. But I was really impressed with the performance. We actually haven't beaten Cardiff Met away in the last 2 years since we joined back into the Super League. So a really important win for us today against a really good Cardiff side. So.
What do you think went well for you in terms of performance and just tactics and things like that?
I thought set piece was a strength of ours today. I think especially in the second half we managed the game really well when we were 2 in the bin. So set piece I thought was outstanding. And then just energy off transition. We lost our way in the first kind of 20 minutes making some poor decisions, but as we kind of grew into the game I thought some decisions off transition were excellent. So yeah, set piece and transition mainly.
And you are at home to Loughborough next week.
Yeah.
Quite a tough competition. How are you feeling for that one?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, the last time we played Loughborough was the semi-final last year, 2-point loss to not take us through to the final. So I think there'll be a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of nerves around playing Loughborough. As we know, they're a decent side, but I think that the girls are ready for it. And to be honest, we've got a squad here that I think really can go all the way, with lots to still join us. So super excited, yeah, and I'm sure Loughborough will bring a good squad down, but it'll be a good game.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for
No
your
worries.
time. Congratulations
Cheers. Thanks.
again. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Now, that is not it for the Cardiff Met rugby scene just yet. The women may have been defeated, but the men are still raring to go. It's a varsity matchup against Bath, and you can catch it live here, Cardiff Met Sport TV, 6:10. See you then.
Happy to go?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Joe Towns and I'm the Programme Director of the Sport Broadcast Master's degree. The Sport Broadcast MSc is all about live production skills, sports broadcast journalism and content creation, whether that's for social media, for podcasts, long-form documentaries or short-form TikTok. On the Sport Broadcast Master's degree, we try and cover every possible role that you could find in the contemporary sports media industry. We want our students to be prepared for all of them, whether that's behind the camera, directing, producing, editing, operating replays, directing a live stream, or if it's on screen, reporting, presenting, commentating. We've designed this course as the perfect stepping stone into the sport broadcast media industry. In terms of broadcast facilities, we have a fully equipped Adobe Lab, which is our newsroom, a TV news gallery, a radio room, brand new podcast studio, and out on the sports fields we have gantries and galleries so that we can live stream football and rugby every week. This course is a practical course, it's hands-on, it's vocational. We really pride ourselves that we're trying to create students that are multi-skilled and ready to take their career in any direction when they leave us. The big advantage of running this course on this campus here at Cardiff Met is that there is elite sport every week, whether that's Wednesday as part of the BUCS competition or so many of our teams play in National League sporting competitions on the weekend. On a Wednesday afternoon, our students could be directing a live stream of BUCS Super Rugby. They might be filming highlights for a live football match, presenting a radio show, making a podcast, or doing a live TV Up the Archer sports preview show. As well as weekly BUCS fixtures, we also cover some really big events on campus, whether that's our varsity day against Bath University.
It's Cardiff Clash. Cardiff Met versus Cardiff University.
Clash on the Court, a triple header in the Archers Arena where we show netball, women's basketball, men's basketball, or the Cardiff Met Sports Awards, a massive event in a hotel in the city where we do all of the VTs and production for what is a brilliant way to round off the year. Across the city and across Wales, we have some very well established relationships with the industry, so our students have opportunities the whole year long to go out on placements. If you're a Welsh speaker,
Shwmae a chroeso I benod arall WBSR Theatrig.
Then we allow all students to submit any of their coursework in the medium of Welsh. We also have some fantastic opportunities in the Welsh sports broadcast industry. The sport broadcast industry is a fast-changing, ever-evolving space. We're really proud that so many of our graduates go on to work in the industry. There's all sorts of possible opportunities for the students to explore once they finish the Sport Broadcast Master's degree.